Hello my dear friends, wish you a very good morning. In this video lecture, I discuss about the unit number 5 part 3. In this video lecture, I consider the remaining topic of your unit number 5. So let's start it. First of all, in this video lecture, one important topic is the time management, which I discuss in the next slides. So, in the unit number 5, there are the remaining topics are: first one is the respecting privacy, then second one is the time management, then third one and the last one is learning to say no. Okay, so there are the remaining 3 topics of your unit number 5. After learning this topic, your unit number 5 is completing. So if you have any query regarding any topic in unit number 5, then you can feel free to contact me. So let's start. First of all, the first topic is respecting privacy. Okay, so first of all, what is the meaning? I say in the simple language, I tell you the what is the meaning of the respecting privacy. Whenever you're working in the organization or in the company, at that time there are the several information, there are the very crucial, very important, which can not share to the other rival firms. If you share this secret information to the rival firms, your competitor firms, then your organization cannot work very effectively, and your secret of your organizations like production system secret, sometimes some organizations have a different type of production activity, different type of machinery in the working. At that time you cannot share the confidential information to the rival firm. Okay, so here there are the point considered in the respecting privacy are: first, to respect the privacy is the fundamental concept of the many societies. People wish to have the privacy not only at their homes but also at the workplace, even if they may be using the premises and the equipment of the employer. Okay, sometimes some people have some type of policy that they cannot, they have some type of introvert personality, they cannot extrovert personality. So at that time they cannot share their private personal informations to the other peoples, and they have some type of, we can say that they have some type of rule that in their personal life they cannot interfere the other peoples, and they can also this type of behavior consider in the organization. They can use the all premises of the employer and then cannot share their information to their colleagues, their employers. Okay, then second one, as for the employer, it is important to monitor the employee's activity through the CCTV cameras and track the internet, email, social medias, and the telephone use. In the some, we can say there are the various companies are doing this type of works. As an employer, they have to do this type of activity to continuous, we can say monitor or continuous doing the observation on the employees work. Okay, because if sometime they cannot doing this type of activity, so employees can misuse the type of confidential information and reveal, or we can say disclose the information to the other persons or other companies. So this type of activities or misbehavior not conducting in the organization, so that's why employers are doing this type of activity. They have to continuous monitoring on through the CCTV cameras on the employees. Okay, they continuous monitoring that which we can say that which type of work employee doing, and who are the employees can not working, who are the employees are doing the good work. Okay, so this is the justify as an employer have a risk of the theft of the property, then data security, then inappropriate and the antisocial behavior, then violence and drug uses, etc. So also the employer's concern in that the productivity loss due to the misuse of the office technology for the personal matter. Sometimes take the example, I gave you the real example, and our, we can say our city's example, that in our city, our Bhavnagar city, there are the one company, there are the Renaissance firm, which are the companies are working for the exporting the diamonds and exporting the jewelries to the other countries. Okay, so at that time they have to working in their premises, and they have to continuous watch on the worker, because the working of the diamond, okay, the worker has to work on the diamond, and they have to require for the security method, because if they cannot doing this type of security, then sometimes some worker can theft some product, and the product is considered like the gold, and we can say silvers and the platinum. So if this type of products are theft from the organization, then organization bear the some type of loss. Okay, so this type of activity can not conducted in the organization. So that's why employers are doing a continuously watch through the CCTV cameras. Then after, the monitoring of the employees may be necessary, but every human being has a right to the privacy as far as their personal information is concerned. The employees desire to work at the peace and not being disturbed constantly. Okay, constantly. Uh, Sometimes this type of behavior conducted by the employer, but employee have some type of, we can say, privacy policy. They have required some type of, we can say, there are the private place, those they can easily work, and sometimes they cannot, we can say, disturbed by the other peoples. Okay, some people have this type of behavior that if any person can disturb them, then they cannot work very effectively, and if they are working in the we can say alone, then they can work very effectively. Okay, so different people have a different type of behavior, at that time how to deal with them, so this type of privacy are considering. Then after, an employer must take a consent from the employee before sharing any of their personal information, like the contact numbers. It is illegal to use a personal contact detail of the employees for the marketing purpose. Some organizations are doing this type of activity, which are the misbehavior is conducted by the organization, because you cannot use the personal contact number of the employees for your marketing of your products. Okay, so this type of behavior cannot conducted by the organization or employer. Then many companies print the contact details of the employees in their brochures or website without their contact, or sometimes they cannot get any permission from the employee, and they can take the information and their contact number in and print the brochure, which is misbehavior conducted by them. So this may lead the unnecessary harassment of the employees by the others. Sometimes if the number of the personal contact number is considering for the marketing use, and we can say some people have a continuously, we can say, call on that number, and they can doing the harassment to the employee. So this type of behavior cannot conducted by the organization. Then after, as an employee, you must also respect the privacy of your other colleagues. Standing behind the person and unnoticed and seeing what the she or he doing very rude. Okay, in sometimes some people have this type of behavior. They only stand behind the person, and they can only continuously watch or continuously stare on their working. That what are my colleague are doing. Okay, so this type of behavior very rude. Then do not peep into the computer for your other colleagues, and monitoring of the internet usage of the employer's work and not yours. Okay, sometimes some colleagues have this type of behavior that they can only watch that what other peoples are doing. They cannot watch that what I should doing. Okay, so this type of behavior cannot considered by the employees with their colleagues. Then after, while including the information, talks during the lunch and tea breaks, do not ask the personal question by which the others get intimidated. So do not share any information of your colleagues with the others. Okay. Sometimes the people can ask their personal questions, and they can reveal their information, which cannot good for their privacy purpose. Then after, as an employee, it is your responsibility to keep a confidentiality of the organization data. Do not reveal any information of the strategy used by the organization, any new development in your company, or any important information to the competitor. They may be used their advantage, and also keep the confidentiality of the client information. sometimes some peoples are doing that type of work. They can reveal the information and they can reveal the confidential data to the other companies, or we can say competitive firm, and which cannot appropriate. Okay, then after, the second topic is the time management. Okay, I start with your routine life, that as a student, whenever you study, at that time the time management is very necessary from your student life to your organization as an employee or as an employer. So time management is very necessary. If you don't doing the right work at the right time, then can not value of your work. Okay, so if you have to do the best work, then you should doing the time management. Time management is very necessary. If you we can say, if you not reach with the time, okay, then you cannot work effectively, and your work cannot consider as effectively. Okay, so effective time management start with the clear visions and goal. First of all, you have to start, first of all you have to establish your organization's goals and standard. Then after, you have to doing the time management. Okay, take the example, if you have a get the consignment from, or we can say order from the your customer, and you cannot provide the right product and the right time, then your order consignment cannot take any worth. Okay, so time management is very important in your personal life, in your student life, and also in your working life. Okay, so first of all, what is the time management? Time management is refers to the managing the time effectively, so the right time is allocated for the right activity. Okay, in your student life, your right time is to be for the studying. If you cannot doing the study, then your time cannot worth. Okay, so time management is very important. Okay, then after, effective time management allows the individuals to assign a specific time slot to activities as per the importance. So you have to divide the slot. Take the example, you have to divide the according to your priority of your work. First of all, as a student, your priority is to be a study. So you have to allocate the maximum time on your study. Then after, you have to allocate your co-curriculum activity. This is not, we can say, important, that study is very important, but sometimes you have to doing the study with a co-curriculum activity. If you doing this type of work, means you have to study with the co-curriculum activity, means you have to practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge. Then your, we can say, then your study is take a worth. Okay, if you cannot have a theoretical, if you have a theoretical knowledge but you not have any practical knowledge, then as an engineer your knowledge cannot, we can say, applicable. So applied knowledge is power. So you have to work with the theory and practical. So you have to divide this slot. Then after, time management refers to the making a best uses of the time, as a time is always limited. Okay, you can also take the example, always you can have some type of, we can say, this you always tend that I cannot have a time for this activity. So you have to divide your time slot, that this hour to this hour, like take the example, like 2 to 3 hours for the co-curriculum activity, 7 to 8 hours for the study. Okay, so you have to divide this type of your, in the working, in the professional life also, you have to divide this type of time management. Okay, then after, so here, for the time management, here is a person who has gave the some matrix for doing this type of time management. Sometimes you have to face a conflict or problem to doing the time management. So here is a person whose name is the Dwight Eric's worker, who has given the metric for the time management. So this person is the prior becoming the 34th president of the US. There are the Dwight Eisenhower, and served the general in the army. So as in the Allied force supreme commander during the World War II, during his time in the army, there are the Eisenhower was faced with the many tough decisions considering the takes, and he had the focus on the everyday. So this led him to invent the principle that help us the prioritize our task and urgent and the important. This person is a very, we can say he is a president of the USA, and he was working in the army. At that time in the army they have to face some type of problem regarding taking the decision, taking an important decision. At that time they have given the matrix regarding to solve this type of dilemma in your time management. Okay, so what are the matrix? Here in the next slide, here is the overall, we can say, the diagram regarding the Eisenhower decision matrix, which ask in your GTU examination. So you have to prepare about it. So in this, you can see that in this matrix there are the main 4 phases. First one is important and urgent. First of all, you have to analyze that which work is important and urgent. So you have to do it now. Then in the second phase, there are the important but not urgent. So you have to schedule the time for it. That, take the example, I have given the all examples that you can easily understand. Okay. Then I will give you first of all from your, we can say, from your routine life. Then I can take you to the organizational example. First of all, there are the routine example I gave you, that in your examination, if you have an examination regarding the one subject, then first of all there are the urgent, then you have to do it. And if your second subject, you have to consider that the second subject which have the one, we can say, consider the one holiday, then you have to schedule about it. So in the organization this type of things are happen, that you have doing the, first of all you have to purchase. So purchasing is a very important for your organization. If you cannot purchase the raw material, then how can you produce the product? Okay, so product, for the production activity you have to purchase the raw material. So it's the urgent, and then you have to do it. And if you have the stock in your go down and your, we can say, in the store, then you can schedule for it. Okay, I hope that you can understand about it. Then not important and urgent. Okay, so you have to delegate. Okay, you can, who can do for it for you. Okay, it is, if it is not important and urgent, then you can delegate this work to the other peoples. Then not important and not urgent, then you can delete or you can eliminate this work. Then you cannot do this type of work because it is not important and now that is not urgent for you, so you can delete it. Okay, you cannot do this type of work. So you have given the priority to your works. Okay, that which work is very important, which work is important and not urgent. So you have to divide these type of activities in your organization. So in the next slide, you can see, first of all, there are the important and urgent tasks. So this receive the highest priority level should be your primary focus to complete as soon as possible. So it's a very important task. You have to divide your task in the 4 categories. First of all, important and urgent tasks. So you have to do this task first. Then after, the second one is an important but not urgent task. So there are the long-term goals and the tasks that are the important but don't have a firm deadline yet. Yet you should schedule for the time manner and doing this most urgent one right after you have to finish the first task. First of all, you have to complete the urgent task, and then after you have to schedule the next task. Then after, then not important but urgent tasks. So these tasks are the ones you can delegate to the other professional or appoint the completely yourself if you must, but only after your first and second quadrant you have to do this type of work. First of all, you have to complete the important task, then after schedule task, and then after you have to complete this third category task. Then fourth and last category is the not important and the not urgent tasks. So this type of tasks are placed in the delayed quadrant, or we can say the delayed phase, because you should eliminate doing them because they are the not important and we can say not urgent. So this may be vary due to the perception of urgency and the importance, but mainly tasks don't be done without the we have to consider the complete waste of time of the most people. So you have to divide your work in the 4 category, and which work is very important. So you have to complete first it, and then after you have to schedule the work one by one. Then after your last topic after this, to conduct, if you want to use your time effectively, do these following things. If in your professional life you have to doing this type of conducted activity, then after you have to doing this type of activities. So the following are the points regarding that you can effectively use your time management. First of all, here are the points of here are the points which should you have to consider whenever you doing the time effectively. First of all, plan your day every day. Then remember that all things are created twice your plan, and first of all you have to keep in mind that implement it. Okay, so you have to plan your work every day. Okay, if you do this type of activity, then your work can complete effectively. Then after, do the activity way ahead of time. Okay, without timing your work cannot complete it. So you have to doing the activity with your time. Then after, know your priorities. Okay, you have to divide your work according to priorities. Then after, concentrate on the task at the hand. Do not get the distracted by the unimportant thing. Sometimes some people cannot work on the important task and they have to work only the unimportant things. So you cannot do this type of work. Then after, avoid the other people's priority by saying the no. First of all, you have to complete your important task, and if the other peoples are not consider in it, so you can say the no to the other peoples. Then after, have a clear vision of your goals. This will be motivate you to stick your schedule. Okay, you have to always work according to your vision and goal. Then after, the last topic is learning to say no. Okay, so this question is also asked in GTU examination, that how you say to learn to no to your colleagues. So here are the points are considered in these topics. First one, when we do the activities which are other people's are priority, we end up accomplish the nothing at the end of the day. Sometimes some people's in like your colleagues, whenever you work with your colleagues and your colleagues say that I have this type of work, can you help me? Then you have the work, then how can you help? How can you say to them no? So in the organization, in the professional life, you have to learn that how to say no. You cannot say clearly to no because it's a rude behavior. Then you have to say that I can help you after after completing my work. Okay, so this is one type of professional languages. Then second one, people is usually are not able to say no even if they want to say. But let's see why the people are not able to say no. Sometimes the people have a, we can say, have a perception that I cannot help them, but they cannot have this type of quality to say the no. So generally we have the need of acceptance of the importance and of a sense to belongingness, so we don't say no. Sometimes we can perception, we have some perception that if I say no, then it's a one type of rude behavior to conduct in with your colleagues. We have a strong ego sense where we consider ourselves to be always helpful to other. At that time we can say don't know. Then after, when we don't have our own plans, we are vulnerable to fit into the plans, and we thinks that because we don't have the anything to do no, so we can easily accommodate for the other people's priorities. So these are the one reason that we can say no to other people's. Then after, we are not aware of our own priorities, and because we cannot visualize our goals and plan for it. Sometimes some people help to the other people and they cannot focus on their goal, so that's why they cannot say the any people to the no. Then we are guided by our impulses of the desires and rather than other sets of principles. This happens and because we have the actually not say to our principles. Then after, lack of power of taking a decision. Sometimes some people have a less power of taking the decision, and that's why they cannot say the no to the other peoples. Then after, then what happens when we are not able to say no? If we cannot say the no to our colleagues, then what type of situation we have to face? First of all, we end up the wasting time which we may have to utilize to doing activities for our own priorities. If we cannot say the no to our colleagues, then we help to them, and we can say that we have to waste our time regarding the our activities. Then after, we are not able to meet our deadline and there are always in the crisis because we help to other and we cannot doing our work and we cannot complete our deadline work. Then after, even though we may have the help to other people, but does not necessarily mean by that we will in good books of the other. Okay, so this type of help to the people but is not necessary, because sometimes some people are not, we can say, thankful to the person who helped to them. So this type of activities are happens. Then after, because of our habit to giving a priority to other people's priority, we end up the missing our deadline and it's create a bad impression. Some peoples are always help to other and they cannot doing their work at that time, so they cannot match the deadline and they cannot complete that task within the deadline, and it's create a negative impact to their overall impression regarding their performance to the employer. Then after, as we start seeing that our own work remain unsatisfied, we go into the resentment and it's become we can say vicious cycle. Sometimes some people are doing the work and they can help to the other, they cannot working that task we can say effectively, and it's create a double time working. Then after, thank you so much. Okay, so if you have any query regarding the any topic in unit number 5, then feel free to contact me. So learning to say no in your after watching this video, you have to read out from your textbook, and if you find any query regarding the any topic in unit number 5, feel free to contact me. Here your unit number 5 completed. Okay, and in the next video lecture session, I start with unit number 6, which is the last unit of your syllabus. So if you find any query regarding the unit number 1 to 5, then feel free to contact me. You can ask me, you can call me my personal contact number. Okay, then I also give you one example which is a real example that which is considered in your textbook, that one girl which is name is Anaya, who are working in the organization, and she is nervous about their presentation, and she asked to their colleague that can you help me regarding this presentation. In the first, her colleague helped them and going with them, but after in the learning to say no, her colleague say to her that I can help you after completing my work. It is a learning to say no. Okay, so here your unit number 5 completed. Okay, thank you so much.